So open up to questions for the board. I'll look first to my left. Anyone on my left side have questions regarding this?
I have a couple questions.
All right.
Can I go first? You said there was additional savings, but the presentation you did in August said that the savings from the refund was about $2,955,000. And now we're saying it's about $2,753,000. That's $200,000 less, unless I'm reading the wrong page.
I thought the savings were higher. I apologize, I'll double check. I mean, rates have gone up a little bit, but I thought our savings were a bit higher in this one, so.
All right.
Okay.
I compared this new one to the last one. I think they all say the same amount.
Yeah.
They all say 2,955,764.
2 mil, over the life of the bonds?
The savings from in column F.
Yeah. All right, well, I stand corrected then.
Okay.
Maybe the savings are a bit less. I apologize. I looked at it quickly earlier today, and I mean, that would make sense. Interest rates are a little up from, August,
So it'd be in only, Jill, you don't know the answer. If I want to ask 2 other questions on the state's approval of our life safety that we were talking to Carrie about, right?
Correct.
So if I look at the summary of the options on a present value total, which is really what actually affects the bottom line for our taxpayers, right, the bottom line there. So the difference between the A option and B option is like $6, right?
that's right.
Okay, so it's about 2% different. But I will ask you, I think you can answer this question. So when we have our hearing today, if we say intent to issue $2 million and then should we say about $2 million in case the state comes back and lets us treat
Yes.
some of those others like
Because we've
safety?
published for 2 million,
Yeah.
so it's up to 2 million. So the
So we
public
can't
hearing-
issue more than $2 million now, right?
Correct.
Okay, but we can still issue $2 million, and
If they come back with additional approvals before we go to
and
market.
if they approve over $2 million, we can't do it because the public knows
That's
it's
right.
$2 million, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, from a financial perspective, I know you're that advisor, I mean, for unsophisticated people like us, it seems like the A and B are, you can almost flip a coin on whether you pick one or the other, right?
You really can. It's just what is more important to you. From a strictly financial point of view, the 7-year payback is less interest over time, although
Right.
on a present value, it doesn't
Right.
amount to a lot of difference in dollars.
Okay.
The 10-year gives you a little more smooth cost to the taxpayers.
Okay.
So, the other consideration is if you go to the page 6 on the 7-year and you look at that middle column, remaining debt capacity, thinking about when your next 10-year life safety survey may be, you've got a bigger amount of capacity there starting in 2022. So versus option B, you still have, you still have that good capacity in 2022, but it really pops up on the 7-year up to $2 million after those bonds are paid off in 2023. So.
And for the school board members that are new, the life safety study was completed in the fall of 2013.
So 2023
So
is about when
2023
the
would be the next time we do our 10-year life safety. Now, I cannot predict the future, but from a roofing perspective, we should be fine to have no roofs on that life safety. So unless we have any other issue, something with inside the school, the stadium would still be, that should be fine. That's all covered. I don't anticipate, but if we're looking at it from that perspective, one might say maybe it's better to have our debt capacity open up when we do our next life safety in the event that something unforeseen should arise. And those of you that have gone through this, you know as well as I do, just because we complete the life safety, it takes a long time to complete this. It almost takes the whole school year to complete the life safety with the architect. And you submit it to the state. You know, and then we have to go through this amendment process. So you're really talking 2024 before you would even start doing any significant work, right? So.
So besides the reason the present value is closed is because the 10-year, so we're paid more in interest, but the 10-year option, there's a lesser amount the taxpayers have to pay, but they pay for the whole 10 years. The 7-year, they pay more each year, but then they stop after 7 years, right?
You know, I think that present value total is $6, that may be an error, just comparing it to the last summary of options. The last summary of options, the difference between these two proposals was, total was 37, and the present value difference was, well, I stand corrected. Present value difference was 10. So that's probably reasonable. Take it back.
I updated it with new rates.
Anyone else on my left? Am I right? Questions?
Nope. Liz, from your perspective, from the board, even though the board does not take formal action on this until October 24th, it would be nice to have some direction, even for the hearing and the viewers on TV, of what the board is considering.
Yes.
So maybe after we open it to visitors' comments during the hearing, possibly maybe just poll the board or poll each individual board member so we have an idea of where we're going.
Well, let's hear if there's any
Yeah,
questions on that.
just for clarification purposes, you said you're going to present the issuances to S&P for a rating. How quickly are we going to get a rating?
Within a week.
Within a week. What do you anticipate based on our fiscal?
You know,
conditions?
I anticipate maintaining that AA+ rating. It's an excellent rating. We went through the presentation today, Dr. Skikas and Scott, and we're putting the finishing touches on it. The district's maintained strong financial management, strong fund balances, revenues to expenditures, so I expect we'll maintain.
One of the questions I have is the fact that we're going out there, we're basically getting the levy on these bonds. So to what degree, if the levy has been issued and the taxpayers within this district are going to have to pay this for, right? Why is there a rating concern? We can't abscond with this money and take it and use it for anything else, right? And so what is the...
Why aren't you AAA?
Yeah, since it's basically, I'm going to put a quote, kind of guaranteed.
This is the thing, the bond rating agencies measure kind of 4 factors. The first one being the tax base, the size of the tax base, the median home income, and the median home value. That's the tax base. Then they look at financial management, and you score very, very high on that. Then you look at financial results, revenues versus expenditures and projections. Those look good. And then you look at debt, and your debt is low and it's being paid off in 10 years. So everything you can control, in my opinion, you have done an excellent job with. The thing you can't control is the median income and median home value. So when they compare you to the other AAA districts, also the size of the tax base. You're given your tax base, that's RB, this is it. They like to see bigger tax bases and more value.
But let me go through the scenario. We went through 2008, 2009, home values here, EAVs went down, yet levy went and got the money for the bonds anyways and still got paid. So to me, that doesn't make sense that we're not at a,
AAA.
AAA.
So you're very close, though, and, it's just those few factors that they have to compare to the other
So what potentially
districts.
can go wrong that we're not going to have to pay?
If you look at some of the other lower bond ratings,
Yeah.
what they worry about is that, you're going to have cash, not you, but another more lower rated district would have cash flow problems, and that the taxes that come into the district, into the township treasurer, that go to pay the bonds would be used to pay operations instead in a desperate situation. So that's really where the rub is on the lower rated districts with general obligation bonds, which you think, because it's a tax levy, it's getting paid, but if push comes to shove and you have to, there could be someone deciding whether to keep school open or to pay a bond issue. And that's, what we've seen
But
in the
actually, we
various.
can't make that determination because the county treasurer controls the bond
Right.
funds. We don't
Well,
get them.
that's true, but they do have, that's the.
I mean, that's one of, they could look at other factors that affect our financial strength, but once we issue the bonds and they're levied, we don't ever touch the money, right? Is that right, Scott?
Well, through the township treasurer, you do. I mean, the absolute safeguard for bonds would be if the money comes from the county clerk right to the bank to pay the bonds. That's called a tax intercept, and that's a true lockbox. Of course, you don't need that because you're, a very strong district with fund balances.
Yeah, but if we had to set it up to get a higher rate, to get a lower interest rate, could we do that?
Still wouldn't do it.
Oh.
Still wouldn't do it. Wouldn't make the difference. But I was just trying to address Gary's question
Yeah.
about,
was
what
a
the
good
differences are. The difference, the only difference here is size of tax base and the socioeconomics versus some of the other AAA districts in the state.
Okay.
Just any other questions?
Laura, do you have any questions regarding? All right.
Gary,
I know
if I
just-
ask you one question?
Go ahead.
You're our financial experts. I mean, how do you feel the difference of the 7 versus 10? I mean, knowing that the really significant difference is that we're going to pay $250,000 extra interest over the 10-year period. So it's $25,000 a year.
Right. The nicer thing at the 10 is it's nice and even for the taxpayers. I'm still pondering in my head whether $30 more a year for a taxpayer is a big enough issue, and go down to 7.
Uh-huh.
Go to 7, and that's where I'm still pondering. I would lean towards 7
Okay.
in my mind.
Can we poll the board roughly just to see what each board member's thinking?
Yeah, let's we'll go to the left first. John?
I'd lean towards 7 just because of the, like you said, the interest payment.
Seven,
Yeah,
two.
same.
Yeah.
This side?
Yeah, go either way.
I think the 10 is easily explained, and it's $35. And it's the same all around, way around it. So for sake of $7, right? And I know it's 200,000, and that really is against my nature, but also it's you got to sell it, right? We got to sell it. We borrow the money. We do this. We pay it off in 10 years. We're done. You're going to pay $35 for 10 years. You're finished. People can commute. They get it. Well, it's going to be 60, and then you get 33 back, and then they're lost, in my opinion. So that's just what I'm. It's
Yeah, it's even.
it's initial pull, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I can go either way.
Yeah, me too.
I like 7 for actually, and I'm glad that you explained, for the debt capacity in the future, right, looking forward.
All right.
Does administration have a recommendation?
My only recommendation would be is that we keep in the back of our minds the possibility that we're doing life safety again, and we may have work by 2024. Other than that, I think the $6. I understand both sides. That
Well, what's our
consistent
additional
payment.
bond capacity after we issue, assuming we issue $5 million in bonds? As of that point, what's our additional debt capacity? It's in
It's
your.
right here.
It's on the
It's
sheet,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the annual?
Column,
So in
the
2000.
very middle column, B minus C equals D.
So in the 10-year, we'd have, in 2023, we'd still have almost 1.3 remaining.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Right. The
And where?
difference is in, so if you do option B, the 10-year, you have a couple $100,000 the next few years, and then when you kind of get to that 23, 24 year, you're about 1.4 million. So the 7-year, option A, has, only about 20,000 for the next few years, and it steps up to $1 million, and then it goes to $2 million in that 2024 kind of time frame. So it's up to what?
I think with either way, we'd have enough debt capacity.
It's $200,000 difference in year 7, right?
Yeah, in 2024 is kind of what I was looking at, the year after the 7 years paid off. You've got debt capacity of $1,990,000
So 1.9 to
Under the 7 year.
1.4. So you're talking about
versus
$500,000.
$1,421,000.
So about $500,000
$500,000.
for 3 years, then, right?
Yeah.
I think unless interest rates are skyrocketing and we have a huge amount of work to do, I would imagine a 1.3 under the 10 is still safe. Again, it's just a matter of do we spend the additional 250? I mean, yes, Wes is right, it's spread over every house within the district, so it's a minimal impact.
Let's open it up to other comments, visitors. If there's any visitors who want to discuss. Not seeing anyone. Let me see if there's any other items we have to address on this. No.
There's no motion to vote, we have to hold on
So-
that until the 24th.
All right. So seeing that all persons desire to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of the working cash fund bonds and the life safety bonds. May I have a motion to adjourn this public hearing?
Resolved that Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby declares that the public hearing concerning the intent to issue $2 million in life safety bonds and the intent to issue $3 million working cash fund bonds of Township High School District Number 208, Cook County, Illinois, be adjourned.
All right. Do we have to do a quick-
Second.
Second? Do we do a second?
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes. Motion carried. I now declare the public hearing adjourned, and the regular meeting will now proceed.
Thank you, Liz, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.